Hello and welcome. I'm Light, and this is my channel. And today we're going to talk about a truly horrifying experience that two people went through. But we'll never know exactly what they went through because they were never found. If you would please give this video a thumbs up, it really helps my channel. If you would like to subscribe and you aren't, please do so. And if you do, please click that bell. It helps you to be notified when my content goes live. Also, there is a thanks button down below, right down there. Yep, that's it. And it's basically a tip jar. If you ever feel like leaving a tip, you're more than welcome to, but it is not necessary. Okay, let's get started on this, shall we? A couple are stranded in the water. They were on a diving trip, and suddenly they see the boat they were on floating away, leaving them alone. It's dark eventually, and their only hope is that somebody figures out that they weren't on the boat and comes back to get them. If this sounds familiar to you, that's because their story was adapted into the film titled Open Water. Eileen and Tom Lonergan from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, signed up for a day trip to explore the Great Barrier Reef on the 25th of January, 1998, after stopping at Australia on their way home from a holiday in Fiji and Tuvalu. Eileen, who was 28, was already an experienced scuba diver, and she had to convince her husband, who was 34 years old, to take up the hobby. She enticed him by telling him that they could go dive and see the most famous coral reef in an ideal setting. And so he did. The couple, alongside 24 other passengers, boarded a boat called Outer Edge, and it was manned by skipper Jeffrey Jack Nairn, and it traveled 60 kilometers off the coast where the underwater adventure would begin. Once the diving was done for the day, a head count was conducted and the boat returned to the mainland. However, something went very wrong, and it later transpired that the couple were not on board the Outer Edge when it headed back, left alone in the water to watch the vessel leave them. It took 2 days before someone discovered a bag that belonged to the married couple on the vessel. This led to the conclusion that Eileen and Tom must have resurfaced from the last of the 3 dives to find that the boat was leaving without them. In the days that followed, a widespread air and sea search took place, but tragically, the couple were never found. In February, a month after their disappearance, a wetsuit in Eileen's size washed up on the northern Queensland shore with tears to it that experts say was probably the result of contact with the coral. After that, their dive jackets, tanks, and one of Eileen's fins turned up as well. According to reports, there was nothing to suggest that their lives had come to a violent end. In the film, Open Water, the couple is depicted as victims of a shark attack. Months later, a fisherman found a dive slate 160 kilometers away, and it read, Monday, Jan 26, 1998, 08 a.m. To anyone who can help us, we have been abandoned on Agincourt Reef by MV Outer Edge 25 Jan 98, 3 p.m. Please help us. Come to rescue us before we die. Help, with 3 exclamation points. Clearly, the couple was frightened beyond belief. I can only imagine how terrifying that situation would be. The date on the slate showed that the couple were alive for at least 1 day. The Outer Edge skipper was charged with manslaughter, and he explained how he had ordered a crew member to carry out the head count, and the numbers had become confused because 2 passengers, for some reason, had jumped back into the water halfway through the count. He was later found not guilty by a jury, but his company pleaded guilty to negligence and went out of business. And this couple, Eileen, Tom Lonergan, were never seen again. And hopefully didn't die a violent death. Although it does seem odd that they would take their tanks off, all their gear, their jackets. We may obviously never know exactly what happened, but I can guarantee it was terrifying. Thank you for coming to my channel, and good night.